Good morning, students. In our last class, we have completed the lesson My Childhood. So, today we are moving to glossary and vocabulary part. So, before that, uh, I think you have remembered the story. It is the story about whom? Whose childhood? Yes, about APJ Abdul Kalam. So, before that, I'll give you a short summary about the lesson which we have completed. My Childhood is a biographical account of APJ Abdul Kalam, the former president of India. In this, he says how he enjoyed religious harmony in his childhood. From this biographical account, one can easily understand how children enjoy their childhood at school, irrespective of caste and religion. The childhood experience of Kalam is a significant example of India's unity in diversity. Kalam was born in a middle class Tamil family in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. His father was Junaluddin. He had neither much formal education nor much wealth, but he was a man of great natural wisdom and generosity. Kalam's mother, Ashi Amma, was an ideal partner to her husband and equally generous to maintain hospitality towards guests and family members. Abdul Kalam's house was on the Mask Street in Rameshwaram, the former Madras state. Dinamani could be the name of a newspaper because Abdul Kalam tried to trace the stories of the Second World War, which his brother in law told him in the headlines in Dinamani. Abdul Kalam had three close friends in school: Ramananda Shastri, Aravindan, and Shiva Prakashan. Ramananda Shastri took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Aravindan started a business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims, and Shiva Prasadan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. The Second World War led to the suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. As a result, the newspapers had to be bundled up and thrown out from the moving train. This forced Kalam's cousin Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles. Abdul Kalam took up this position and earned his first wages in the process. He had earned some money when he started helping his cousin. When the Second World War broke out, there was a sudden demand for tamarind seeds in the market. He collected the seeds and sold them at a provision shop on Mask Street. Usually, a daily's collection earned him 1 anna. Despite being a Muslim, Kalam had three close friends from Brahmin families who equally showed the least concern towards religious differences. The stories of the Ramayana and life of the Prophet were bedtime stories embedded in the heart of Abdul Kalam. As a token of secular idealism, Kalam's family served Lord Rama during Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony. The social groups that he mentioned were the Hindus and the Muslims. Yes, these groups were easily identifiable. Abdul Kalam wore a cap which marked him as a Muslim. His friend Ramananda Shastri wore the sacred thread as he was a Hindu. The naturally they naturally shared friendship and experiences. Abdul Kalam was Muslim and his friends were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. However, they were very close friends. During the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, Kalam's family arranged boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the Prophet were the bedtime stories his mother and grandmother would tell the children of their family. And all these incidents show that different social groups naturally co-inhabited Rameshwaram. There were two people who were aware of the differences among them. One was the new teacher who came to the class when Kalam was in the fifth standard and did not let him sit with Ramananda Shastri, who was a Brahmin. Also, the wife of Shiva Subramanya Iyer was very conservative and did not allow Kalam to eat in her pure Hindu kitchen. The people who tried to bridge these differences were Lakshmana Shastri and Shiva Subramanya Iyer. So, when Kalam was in 5th standard, a new teacher came to their class. Kalam always sat in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri. The teacher could not digest the fact that a Hindu priest's son was sitting with a Muslim boy. So the teacher immediately asked Kalam to sit on the back bench. Both Kalam and Ramanandan were unhappy with this development. When they narrated this story to their respective parents, Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher and told him that he should not spread the idea of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. The teacher apologized and regretted his behavior. In another incident, Kalam's science teacher Shiva Subramanya Iyer invited him for a meal to his house. Kalam's science His wife, who was very conservative, was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy eating in her pure kitchen. Consequently, she refused to serve him in her kitchen. However, Iyer was not disturbed by his wife's behavior. Instead, he served Kalam with his own hands and sat down beside him to eat his meal. When Kalam was leaving, Shiva Subramanya Iyer again invited him for dinner the next weekend. On observing Kalam's hesitation, he told him not to get upset and said that once one has decided to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When Kalam visited the house next week, Shiva Subramanya Iyer's wife took him inside her kitchen and served him food with her own hands. Hence, in this way, differences can be resolved and people's attitudes can be changed. Kalam wanted to leave Rameshwaram for further studies. He wanted to study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. Kalam's father said that he knew that one day Kalam had to go away to grow. He gave the analogy of a seagull that flies across the sun alone and without a nest. He then quoted Khalil Gibran to Kalam's mother, saying that nobody's children were their own children. They were the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. So they come through their parents but not from them. So they may give their love but not their thoughts as the children have their own thoughts. His words meant that children have to be separated from their parents at some stage in life. They have to be left free so that they can realize their thoughts and goals. A seagull flies away alone and finds its own food and nest. Parents can nurture their kids with love, but they cannot give them their thoughts. The children have their own thoughts. They should themselves develop these thoughts naturally. Kalam's father spoke these words because Kalam's mother was hesitant about his leaving Rameshwaram. Students should know how Mr. Kalam strove hard to reach where he is today. He faced numerous hardships but refused to be cowed down. He did not give up and went on to become the president of our country. Such achievements are rare and children should draw inspiration from them. So this was the story which we have completed in our last class. So I think if you didn't follow it in the last class, I hope at least now you have understood the lesson. So now moving to the glossary. Erstwhile means former, undistinguished, not very interesting, successful or attractive. Ancestral means of grandparents or forefathers. Austere means simple and plain. Orthodox means following closely the traditional beliefs and practices of a religion. Summon means to order somebody to come to you. Conviction means the act of finding somebody guilty of crime. Segregation, the policy or act of separating people. Conservative means opposed to great or sudden social change. Rituals, a series of actions, especially as a part of religious ceremony. Perturb, to make worried or anxious. Confront, to lead with a problem or situation. Optimism means a feeling that good things will happen. Moving to vocabulary, fill in the blanks with suitable words often confused given in the brackets. So here they have given few words which are often confusing to us. So I have written it already for you. You write them in your textbook with the help of the pencil. So the first one, Samsuddin helped me earn my first income or wages. Income. First one is income. Second, he received a proportion of his dash from selling tamarind seeds. Proportion of his wages. By selling seeds, he doesn't get any income. It is a wage because he is getting daily 1 anna. So he is getting paid daily. So it comes under wages. So second one is wages. Third, he is dash about technology. Innocent or ignorant? Ignorant. He is ignorant about technology. Third one is ignorant. Fourth, however, he was found dash of any crime. Innocent of any crime. Fourth one is innocent. Fifth, he lost all the wealth he had. Inherited, not acquired, inherited from his father because he acquired the bad habits. Fifth one, first blank is inherited, second blank is acquired. Sixth, people from different backgrounds could mingle easily. Mixed group of people do not come to an agreement. Sixth one, in sixth, first blank is mingle, second blank is mixed. See the seventh. People in Rameshwaram were very rigid in terms of segregation, not adapt, it is rigid. Of different social groups. Subramanya Iyer adamantly opposed it. So the seventh one, first blank is rigid, second blank is adamantly. Eighth, the car coiled with a stationary vehicle when we were going to buy some stationery from the bookstall. You may be thinking, Miss, this is also stationery, that is also stationery. Then what is the difference between them? So see the first one. In eighth, first blank is stationery, STATI Nary. Nary means motionless. Stationary means motionless. So the car coiled with a stationary vehicle means which is motionless vehicle, it has coiled. So when we were going to buy some stationery, NERY means writing material, whatever we call it as bookstall. So they were going to buy some stationery from the bookstall. So eighth one, first blank is stationery, NARY, whereas the second blank is stationery, it is NERY. The difference is first one we pronounce it as stationery, whereas we pronounce the second blank as stationery. So ninth one, she was enveloped in a huge white towel. She was enveloped. Ninth one is enveloped. 10th, we sent an air mail envelope abroad. 10th one is envelope. 11th, the floor was laid with a newspaper. Laid, LAID. 11th one is laid. 12th, he lied many times. Lied, LIED. 12th one is lied. Take the appropriate meaning of the underlined word in each sentence below. So students, this also I have already done it for you. I have written the answers underlined with I have written the answers in bold font, and also I have underlined them. So you can take in your textbook. See the first, Kalam's father possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. Here generosity means, what is the meaning of generosity? Nobility. First one is B. Second, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. Erupted means appeared suddenly. Means second one is C. Third, our family arranged boats for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site situated in the middle of the pond. Site means place. Third one is A. Fourth, the new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. Stomach means tolerate. Fourth one is tolerate. Fifth, he looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. Downcast means sad. Fifth one is B. Sixth, Shastri bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school. So here bluntly means angrily. Sixth one is B. Seventh, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. So here rigid means strict. Seventh one is A. Eighth, Shiva Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife. Perturbed means disappointed. Eighth one is B. Ninth, India's freedom was imminent, means certain. Ninth one is C. So students, I think you have understood till here. You have to write them neatly in your textbook, and also start writing the notes of this lesson, My Childhood, and along with the question answers you have to start vocabulary also, and we'll be completing the remaining part, grammar part, in our next session. Thank you. Have a good day.